Hi, and welcome to a brand new video on the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. It's been a while since I've done a video in this format because, again, certain circumstances had prevented me from doing it. Plus, taking care of the kids during the day. So it's been very difficult for me to actually do this in this way, right? So sometimes you just see where I just do a video with my phone, and then there are times in the video that I recorded, I try to narrate it as I'm recording. I just upload it so you guys can see. But today I have the opportunity to do it in this format, so I will. Plus, what has been happening lately with my targeting, and within the past couple of weeks and stuff like that, and the fact that I haven't spoken to my oldest son in almost a month. He had contacted my second youngest, his brother Ethan, a couple of days ago, using the app Discord. And so again, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I know it's because of my targeting, and I know it's because they're trying to shut me up. So this is the state that's doing this. It's the government, federal government, security agencies, and because I keep exposing what they're doing, I'm being labeled, as being mentally ill and such, right? And so the state will then use its powers to try to take away your children, if you have any children. And this is how they punish you for speaking out about what it is that they're doing. Okay? And there are various ways in which they try to do it, and which again I'm going to explain. And in this, what is called a coercive persuasion program. But keep in mind, as I've always said, the coercive persuasion program is just a part of a bigger program, all right, which is non-consensual human experimentation, okay, for the purpose of mind control and the use of directed energy weapons, again, for the purpose of mind control, and illegal microchipping for the purpose of mind control, and for trying to take over a person's life, trying to make that person a slave, I should say. And so I'm going to explain again, from time to time I gotta do this just to rehash, this entire program. The program is an entirety, and how it the sub-programs that goes along with this program. So we're going to talk about the psychological harassment part of this program, what is called the coercive persuasion part of this program. And there are 7 tactics, as you can see. Okay? And on the website psychologicalharassment.com, you'll find the terminology of a coercive mind control program, or what is called coercive mind control tactics. And it is in today's mind control or brainwashing in academia is commonly referred to as coercive persuasion, coercive psychological system, or coercive influence. The short description below comes from Dr. Margaret Singer, professor emeritus at the University of California at Berkeley, the acknowledged leading authority in the world on mind control and cults. So, a coercion is defined by the American Heritage Dictionary as the force to think, the force to act or think in a certain manner, to dominate, restrain, or control by force, to bring about by force. Coercive psychological system or behavioral change program, which use psychologically force in a coercive way to cause the learning and adaptation of an ideology, a designated set of belief, ideas, attitudes, or behavior. The essential strategy used by the operator of these programs is to systematically select, sequence, and coordinate many different types of coercive influence, anxiety, and self-producing tactics over a continuous period of time. In such a program, the subject is forced to adapt in a series of tiny, invisible steps. Each tiny step is designed to be sufficiently small so that the subject will not notice the change in themselves or identify the coercive nature of the process being used. The subjects of these tactics do not become aware of the hidden organizational purpose of the coercive psychological program until much later, if ever. So some what we call our self-target individual like myself, we become aware of what is happening because it is not by our own self-awareness, but because of things that were being done by the architect of this program and those who participate in this program, to eventually will make you, the TI, become aware of what's being done to you. So this is after the period in which it could be years, okay, when they believe that the program has set in your subconscious. So they will know this by maybe doing things in front of you to see how you respond. But again, that response, you have no conscious idea of what it is that you're doing. And when they see the response, the built-in response, then you become aware of it, right? Then they make you become aware of it. Okay? So, all right. So these tactics are usually applied in group setting, but that's not always the case, or by group settings by well-intended but deceived friends and allies of the victim. This keeps the victim from putting up the ego defense we normally maintain in known adversarial situation. The coercive psychological influence of these programs aim to overcome the individual's critical thinking abilities and free will apart from any appeal to informed judgment. The victim gradually lose their ability to make independent decisions and exercise informed consent. Their critical thinking, defenses, cognitive process, value, ideas, attitudes, conduct, and ability to reason are undermined by a technological process rather than by meaningful free choice. Rationality or the inherent merit or value of the idea or proposition being presented. So how do they work? So before I go to the tactics, this is not just being to me as a TI or others as TIs as we call ourselves, but on the general public as a whole. And what the general public does not realize, again, is because they are also being deceived without realizing what's happening, that they themselves are being conditioned. Whether it may be giving them a so-called righteous cause or giving them the ability to do something in which they feel that they are the overseers of certain people in the society, right? Kind of like the police, okay? Because we all know where the police comes from in terms of how they were created, right? And even up until today, by the overall arcing amount of a certain group of people who they incarcerate, arrest, frame, set up, you guys know the rest, okay? Who that is being victimized, you know, it is, okay? So tactic 1 is just to increase suggestibility, soften up through to specific hypnotic or other suggestibility, increasing techniques such as audio. We talk about noise campaign, and one second here. Okay, just wanna call just showed up on my, not my, but the computer. I just want to make sure it wasn't recorded. Right, so as I was saying, right, so audio, which I talk about the noise campaign, the fixation drill, which I talk about the palm fixation drill that they normally do, right, verbal, you hear, you know, in the video that I'm going to play, you know, you guys going to hear all that stuff, right, and excessive exact repetition of routine activity, sleep restriction, noise campaign during the night, which is what they do, all right, and nutritional restriction. Tactic 2, establish control over the person, social environment, time, and source of social support. by a system of often excessive reward and punishment, social isolation, which is what most TIs end up finding isolated, okay, is promoted, and contact with family and friend is abridged. Is As is contact with person who do not share the group approved attitudes, economics, and other dependence on the group is fostered. So hence the reason why when they label you, all right, or they damage you physically, where you're not able to work, you're not able to function around people, you end up becoming, disabled, basically, right? So now you're dependent on the system, for some sort of income, right? And then they use that to try to control you again, to try to get you to shut up, to the threat of constantly having your disability taken away. It is something that they do constantly in order to shut you up. And when you do talk about it, then they will continue to again engage in this. Well, we did nothing wrong. He's fine. She's fine. They're not on disability. So sometimes what they'll do is that I'll constantly see people in wheelchairs, right? And it's purposely being done. Okay, just as how before I used to see police arresting black men, just standing in the corner or standing on the sidewalk, no police car. They're the only one on the block now. Okay, there's nobody else around except for a police or two police officer handcuffing, a suspect or so-called suspect, And as I approach, they will turn the suspect around so that I can see the handcuff behind his back. And then after a couple months of that, you start to see the civilian perpetrators will walk in front of me and put their hands behind the back as if they're being handcuffed. Okay, so again, these are all psychological condition, right? It's the repetition, right? The fixation drills. Okay. Tactics 3: prohibit disconfirming information. Okay, and non-supporting opinion in group communication. So this is what they do online. So they will block you from accessing certain things that they feel is something that will bring you into the reality of what's really happening to you, while they try to keep it in the psychological realm, right? Tactics 4 makes a person reevaluate the most central aspect of his or her experience of self and prior conduct in negative ways. And this is not always true. From my experience, what they would do is that anything that I've done, I will attempt to do that's positive. They will try to subliminally send me messages of punishment, right? And when I do something that's negative, right, they will try to, like they give me the thumbs up, or they won't target me for a little bit. It is again trying to do what is called a switcheroo, right? Meaning that if you act more negative, they make you believe that will yield positive response, and if you act more positive, they will make you believe that that will yield negative response, right? Okay. So, tactics 5: create a sense of powerlessness by subjecting the person to intense and frequent action and situation which undermines the person confident in himself or his or her judgment. I should say himself, herself, or his or her judgment. And this is what they do to me also, particularly in a situation where you're in a relationship, or particularly when you're talking to someone and they don't want you to be honest and truthful with that individual. They want you to lie, so that further down the line, when things get bad, they can use that individual to say you're a liar or such and such, right? And also to take away, again, your confidence, so that they can break you down, they can manipulate you, and then try to build back up your confidence, which is called a false sense of confidence, to give themselves an out. Meaning that if you believe in this false sense of confidence, then again they will believe that this psychological program has not done you any psychological harm, right? And this is just the psychological part I'm talking about here, not the directed energy part, which I'll get to. All right, so create strong aversive emotional arousal. This is what is called manipulation control, in which they control your manipulation on point, or the snap of a finger, or using a trigger word, right, or situations, right? So So to create strong aversive emotional arousal in the subject by use of non-physical punishment such as intense humiliation, loss of privileges, social isolation, social status change, intense guilt, anxiety, manipulation, and other techniques. Tactic 7: intimidate the person with the force of group sanctions, secular psychological threat. For example, it may be suggested or implied that failure to adopt the approved attitude, belief, or consequence behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences such as physical or mental illness. And again, this is what they constantly try to do. When they'll plan the attack on me and, it doesn't pan out, or, my true confidence will come out and, you become more courageous, then they will use the mental illness card, right? And if it's the opposite, then they will try to use what is called, the threat of force, right? Using the police, as you guys see, I've shown you guys many a times. All right. So failure to adopt the approved belief, the approved attitude, belief, or consequent behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences such as physical or mental illness, the reappearance of prior physical illness, drug dependence, economic collapse, social failure, divorce, disintegration, failure to find a mate, etc. And the part where divorce, even though I was in a relationship with Pam, we wasn't married, but again they used people to separate and break us up, and even quite possibly get her involved in my targeting because of things that she do. So for the past week, she wasn't able to go to the nail salon, so she painted her nails, and she painted her nails gray. Let me switch back to the screen right here. So she painted her nails gray. Okay, her pointed finger, this finger, she didn't paint at all. She left that. Okay, then this finger, not the finger that my ring is on, but this finger that I'm pointing to here. Let me do that. She painted that one black. Okay, and all the rest of her fingers, all of this one is all on her other hand is all painted gray. And so lately, I've seen her wear a lot of these colors, either black or gray. Because I stayed over here during the week, just this week, because let me tell you, as soon as she comes in, she'll eat and she'll go to bed, and she's like, I'm always tired, but yet she gets up in the middle of the night and stayed up all night, and then complain the next day how she's tired, come home again, eat, and just go to sleep. I mean, it's a repeated pattern with her. Okay, it's all the time, right? And so, I can't leave, because if she's sleeping, the kids are hungry, I can't leave. So anyway, and because of my bad back, I can't sleep on the couch anymore, so I sleep in the bed. So lately, what she's been doing is that, normally she sleeps underneath a blanket. Now her blanket has a pattern on it on one side, and then it's like fully gray on the other side, right? So the top of the blanket is what you would be facing up on the bed. So she flipped that around now because there's a pattern, on that side of the blanket, right? She flipped it around, which is on the gray side, the solid gray side, and she's been sleeping at that all week. And so last night I fell asleep, and I woke up when she came into me, because again she slept. She get in the house went to sleep at 8 o'clock, didn't wake up till after 1. Okay, when I was getting ready to go to bed. Get in the bed, she gets up, she leaves, she comes back, I don't know what time it is, but I woke up and she got in the bed, and then I went back to sleep. I woke up again, I turned towards her, and I saw that she was wrapped up in a gray sheet. Now I'm like, okay, the night before I slept on the bed, you were on the blanket. So why is it now you're wrapped up in a gray sheet? So I asked her, I said, why are you in a gray sheet? She was like, cause you were wrapped up in a blanket, which is not true. I don't, cause like I said, I woke up when she came in. She didn't know that, so I know I wasn't wrapped up in a blanket. Now from time to time she'll get like this, and I can always sense when there's some sort of external influence with her, because she do stuff like that, right? And I don't really care, Okay, so I asked her, I said, why you got the sheet? She's like, because I wrapped them in the blanket. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So I, moved the blanket, and she said, which I wasn't wrapped up in, because I just basically pulled the blanket to cover her, and she's under the blanket again. She's still wrapped up in the sheet now, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you got the cover. Why are you still wrapped up in the sheet? And she's like tightly wrapped up in the sheet, right? So I'm just like, okay. So at that point, I got out of the bed and I left, because clearly, I guess maybe she didn't want me to accidentally roll over and touch her while I'm sleeping. So, so I left. I went in the living room and I slept on the couch. So in the morning, she gets up. I woke up, and she says to me, "Why did you leave?" I said, "Because you came in, got in the bed, and you was wrapped up in a sheet, and you telling about you talking about how that that I was wrapped up in the blanket." And I said, "Okay, well, I gave you the blanket, but you were still wrapped up in the sheet. Now it's hot, so." But anyway, I said to her, listen, you need to. I'm not into playing these games with you, okay? And you need to stop it, because I keep telling you before, you always exhibit this type of behavior when there's some external forces outside that's, I don't like what's going on in your head. But I know this for a fact, because it isn't the first time you've done something like that, and it ain't gonna be the last. And I said, I'm not playing these games with you. The day before, in the morning, she was leaving for work, and she came over to me and she whispered, she was like, demon seed, demon child, demon child. And I said, what did you say? And she was like, oh, I didn't say nothing. Again, engaging in gaslighting. Okay, so this is what she's been doing. Now, that same morning, right, as she said that to me, outside, police sirens and fire trucks sirens was going off. So, I know that they were up to something. All right? And so, you guys may find this difficult, okay, coming from a person who is talking about these things, but believe me, this is actually what's happening, right? These things do exist, and these things are going on, and which is what I want to talk about. So I want to get to the video, and then I'm going to get back to some of these things that you see I have up here in these tabs. Again, just to explain to you guys after I do the video, so you guys will, so I can put things into proper context for you guys, so you guys can understand exactly what it is that I'm going through, right? And this is my attempt of always trying to explain to you guys, showing you guys exactly what I'm going through by either narrating as I'm doing the video, or as I'm doing the video in this format, explaining it in this way, and trying to draw references, right? Okay. Let's see, first video. Okay. So this was the Friday that her and the kids was leaving to go to Pennsylvania. This was on, let's see, this video was taken, okay, I'm trying to find the exact, alright, anyway, I'm not going to bother in terms of trying to find the exact date, because when I import these things into this software, it just gives it the date of when it was imported. Okay, so you have to excuse me for that. So anyway, I'm going to I got off the bus, I went to the bank, and I noticed that when I was in the bank, there were individuals within the bank that was engaging in, psychological harassment. Okay. So as I leave, and I want you to see these hand signals that they do that I'm talking about, and so you'll see this woman standing here, and she'll place her thumb on the pointing finger. I don't know if you call it index finger or not, but this is something that I've noticed they've been doing a lot. They'll walk down the street and they'll place their thumb on there, either on the inside or on the outside of that pointed finger, which is this finger. They'll do something like this. Let's see, right? Or like this, right? Whenever they're walking towards me, or they'll do something like this. If I'm on the bus and they're sitting down, they will take their thumb and place it on this finger. Let me see if I can, right? Again, these are all hand signals, okay, built-in anchors and triggers, right? Okay, now let's go back here. As I turn, again, remember how I talk about how they're always pulling on their clothes or tugging on their clothes? So you see the guy in the green rain jacket, he takes his thumb again and, you know, press it on his jacket. Again, the color green, I talk about what that means during my target and how I used to see a lot of people wearing green. Then all of a sudden, people would stand up in front of me, or by me, or close to me, take out a whole bunch of cash, right? Like a stack of cash in their hand, and count it in front of me, you know. And then again, I'll see a lot of people start wearing green. It is the conditioning in which the anchor and the trigger. So green is the color, what also would say the color of money. That's why you say money green, okay? Or you'll say, I got to get these greens, right? So again, this is direct reference to my my disability in terms of receiving my disability. You know, that they would do this, right? You can see, and as I walk past, he turns and walk away, right? And so now you'll start to see the homeless theme, which I'm going to talk about. Okay. Now, as I'm approaching the homeless guy, okay, you guys hear the call honking? And you hear it again, right? You know, as you hear it again, another homeless lady. Now she starts sticking her fingers in her ears, okay, and then you see her raise her middle finger, right? Now she's raising up her middle finger, okay, and you guys will see the palm fixation drill. If you look at her hands, her palm is facing towards me, okay. Now you'll see this guy in the white. He's going to stand there. Again, this is all street theater, right? So there she goes. She looks at me. Then she looks down at my feet. And hey, sweetie, can you bring my sneakers for me? All right. Thank you. Talking to my daughter, and because I want to show you guys the shoes I've been wearing for the entire summer. Just one. Okay, I'm doing a video, okay? So you can't make noise, okay? All right. Okay, so here is the sneakers, right? I've been wearing, right? The sneakers. Okay, so it's a silver gray and white. All right, and so there are certain colors that I wear on my feet that they'll constantly look down at, right? And then there are other colors that they won't even look at. So if I'm wearing a color that is green, if I'm wearing a color that is red, if I'm wearing you know, any type of color that's not green, I'm sorry, that's not if I'm wearing colors that are, I would say, black, gray, you know, something that may have purple in it, white, what have you, you know, they're constantly staring at my feet. But if I wear other colors, like I said, like red, green, even maybe like an off color, you know, like something like the color that I'm wearing right now, which maybe like a fuchsia color, they won't even pay attention to what's on my feet. Okay, so you see her here, she's looking down at my feet, because the shoes, the color, is associated with colors. Okay, and then you'll see here what I talk about. See what I talk about, how they would place their thumb on this finger right here. Let me see. I don't want to. This is not my middle finger, by the way. So don't think I'm trying to give you guys my finger. This software is kind of tricky because it kind of deletes the background and stuff like that. All right. So this finger. So you'll see what she's doing here. So she went from sticking her finger in her ears to give me the middle finger, and now she'll take her thumb and place it on this finger, right? Okay. Now, again, the guy in the white. Okay, as he's walking, you'll see now he puts his hands behind his back, opens up his palm, and you can see the inside of his palm right there. Okay. So again, follow that along with the palm fixation drill. Okay, now watch this. Now, as I am approaching, you'll see someone that's standing out there by the store. Okay, she comes out. Alright, now watch this. Now you hear what she said? Now there's no need for her to say sorry. I moved around her. There's plenty of space and I saw her coming. Okay. Okay, now I've talked about this, right? In which they would do this, target me, right? And then will tell me sorry, but try to do it in a way as if they were like almost bumping into me, that sort of thing. But again, we know that everything is scripted. If you're a TI watching this video, we know it's all scripted. And it is, and the reason why they say sorry, right? Because they're hoping that you, the TI, the person that they've done this to, that you'll forgive them, right? Because again, a lot of people who participate in this is because they've been recruited because of their religion, right? So they will give them like some so-called religious cause or righteous cause, right? Which is not really any type of righteous cause. And I can show you guys through history what so-called righteous cause have done to humanity as a whole, right? And it isn't good. Okay, so again, they will always do this. They will always use public safety, righteous causes, public safety if they're the government, righteous causes if they're religious organizations and religious cults, right? And also national security if they're the government, and also public safety if they're like the Department of Health and Human Services, which also engage in a lot of psychological experimentation as well as biological and medical experimentation. Okay, so they will always use that. You always see that security, safety as part of their their headline to fool people in and to get them to participate in these things. Okay, the Jews did it with the Nazis. National security, public safety, same thing. Okay, remember, this is nothing new. History always repeats itself, and the reason why history is repeating itself again is because we, the public, are not educated in history. Okay, and it's done on purpose, and the rewriting of history into some false history to support a certain narrative of those at the top. Okay. And again, you'll hear all the car honking as I pass by, and there's no need for it. It's just, again, it's all part of the noise campaign, Okay. All right, so, okay, so that's it for this video. Now, I went home that afternoon. And I think I did record, but I'm not going to play that. But what I want to play is when I went back, which was the following Monday, when she was supposed to come back earlier, and she ended up leaving late, and so she had asked me if I can come over to help her, with the kids and stuff like that, and because she had a lot of stuff to bring upstairs. So I said, okay, fine. And I think I've actually uploaded this video, but not in this format, and I have to do it like this. So, all right. So just to put what I'm saying in context. Minister 9 at night. I'm leaving my house. I went to leave my house. Go to Pam. She took the kids to Pennsylvania for 3 days, and something happened where she's come back late. So she had asked me to come. Okay, now before I continue this, for TIs who are religious, then up and ask about the symbol on my neck, which is the Ankh. And again, this is not a religious symbol, okay? Just for those of you who don't know, let me just do a quick that's right, KH. Okay, let's go to the Ankh meaning, which is the key of life, or means life. For those of you who don't quite understand, particularly if you're religious TI, right? So the Ankh doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean somebody died on a cross, or it doesn't mean that it belongs to a particular faith. Okay, what the Ankh is a representation of life. All right, and here's a perfect example. Let's go through here. Right, so what the Ankh is because the Egyptians are the Kemetans, right? Because before Egypt was called Egypt, it was called Kemet. And so the Ankh, the people there were black people, were highly intelligent. They built the greatest ancient civilization. They knew about medicine. They operated. They understand. They were trying to understand our purpose in life, who we are as comparison to the universe, to the earth. And you know, it's a lot that goes into it, which I'm not going to explain. But just to give you an information, you see the uterus right over here, and this is the Ankh. So basically, this is the Ankh is the symbol of the uterus, right? Okay. Also means that the Ankh is, you know, have other meanings too, such as you see here, the sunset, you know, also the fallopian tube, the vaginal canal, the portal of life, uterus, the womb of life. All right. So it also means the woman, which is the uterus, right? The man and the child. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to just explain that, because, you know, sometimes some TIs may watch this because they're highly religious with Christianity or what have you, and see that and think I'm trying to convert you to my religion. You know, when because I wear this, it doesn't mean I belong to a particular religion. It's the African spirituality. Okay, so understanding that the life is created by the man and the woman, and then man and woman is reincarnated within the child. Though the child may have their own consciousness, right? That both the mother and the father are part of that child, right? Hope I can I explain that pretty well. So anyway, so let's get back to this now. Over. So yeah, so before she gets there, because it's late, and she may have to wait a while for parking. And she get all this stuff she gotta take in the house. Okay. Okay. So now I'm walking down this block, going to the bus stop. Starts walking across the street, and there's a police officer there who sees me. He looks in my direction, and he starts to walk across the street. You'll see him as I get closer. See the sirens? He's parked all the way on the other side. Now I missed this because I didn't. When I had uploaded this video previously, I did not notice this until when I was reviewing this video today. So, alright. So now one of the things that they would do early on in my targeting, when a police officer would walk towards me, that they will put their hands on their firearms, right? And again, this was being done over and over again. You know. And so you'll see how they use that built-in programming which they've created within my subconscious. It is what it is. So he walks over. That's where you gotta expose them. Alright? Okay. Okay, see now he's looking down now. Okay, he's looking at his phone. He walks away just to look at his phone, and then you see he looks towards me, right there. Then he looks back down. Okay, and then he looks at the guy in the bicycle. All right, he's wearing red. Yeah. Okay, see that? He's wearing red, and then he turns right to where now, you know, in full view, in full sight of his service weapon, and the handle of his service weapon is a yellow wrapping, right? So it's wrapped with the color yellow, whatever it is. Okay, as you guys can see here. Okay, so remember, he was across the street now, and he walks all the way over just to stand up here, just to watch his phone. All right. Okay. You see? This is what I'm talking about. It's part of harassment. And of course you gotta turn to where his gun is at. Right? And that's why I gotta report them. You know? Of course he comes over with the threat. You know? The psychological threat. They know what they used to do whenever they used to see me. They'll put their hands on their weapons. Exactly. Alright? Oh. Alright, so I just kinda let's see. Comes and he see me. They'll put their hands on their weapons. Alright? So like I said, you see as I'm coming across the street, with me walking down the block, he comes. Alright. Okay, so yep. Okay, so let's get to the next video. Now this is the same night. I got off the bus, walking over to Pam's, and you know, the minute I hit the corner, I saw, you know, flashing lights, right? Flashing yellow lights. So I said, okay, let me record this. And then on top of that, there was a kid that was standing in the lobby of this building, right next to Pam's. He was just standing there, you know, looking out, and then he sees me, okay, and then he comes out of the of course I came out to Pines block now, right? The building. What do we see here? Okay, so I'll tell you how they. All right, so as I'm driving by, you'll see the driver. He's staring at me. You see he has his head turned, staring at me. And then at that point is when the kid come out of the apartment building, and he put his finger like this over his mouth, okay, and again this is where he just move it out. Now he has a mask on his hands though. He doesn't have the mask on his face, okay, and I got him just as as I turned, you know, he moved his hands down, and again you'll see that index finger which I talk about earlier in my targeting. You know, you guys know about this. When I used to work and I would leave work, there was a police officer, undercover police officer, who would be waiting down at the bottom of the staircase. Now, funny thing is, I always take the elevator all the way down, but every time I take the stairs, this police officer would be standing at the bottom of the stairs. He's the only one that was there, okay? And he would put his hands on the railing with that finger pointed down, right? So, and it was purposely being done. Yeah. Okay. I see you, my boy. I see you. I see you. He say, "Well, I'm taking the video." Now, how does he know I'm taking the video? I didn't have the phone up to his face. You know, I basically held the phone upright against my chest or my stomach. You know. So, hey, homeboy, but they know because they watch this video. No, I see you, homeboy. I see you. Don't worry. So yeah, okay. So here I am, just going in the building. All right. So again, you'll see another instance. Let's see, did I upload it? I should have uploaded it. Shoot. Yeah, why didn't I upload it? Let's see. Okay, I thought I uploaded. Okay. Let me make sure I need to upload this other video. Okay. Okay. All right. So. So of course I came out of. Okay. Alright, I am looking for this other video that I had. I don't know what happened to it. Which is study. Kind of weird, because I knew I uploaded. Because I wanted to show you guys another example of how when after they target me, they'll turn around and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Right.
You know, and such and such.
There.
Okay. So I don't know what happened. Let's go through this video. Well, I know what happened. You know, you damn.
Just missed the red. Just missed.
Okay, I'm trying to find this video.
Okay.
Alright. Okay. Wow, come on. No, I got this video here somewhere. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm trying to find this video that I know I put into this folder here because I viewed it. Okay.
All right. So,
for
I got to recall. I'm on it.
Some reason, I cannot find it. That is completely weird. Okay. Excuse me. Just. Bear with me for a minute. Let me try to figure out what's going on. Let me go back into my camera. Okay. Alright, let me see here. Okay, yes, I did want to get this in there too. See, there's some videos that I copied over. At least I thought I copied over. Okay, so it won't let me copy it over. Okay, there we go. Finally did that one. Let's see this one. Okay. Let's see this one. Okay, this one won't play now. What's going on? Alright, let me just try and copy this over. Okay, I already did that. Yeah, it's just weird, right? I was able to copy these videos, and some of them didn't copy. Now the other video I'm looking for, I can't find it anymore.
Just missed the red car. Making the turn.
Okay, I cannot find it, but I know I viewed it. Okay, I definitely know I viewed it.
Get right back.
I'm sorry, this video's taking longer than. Alright, I'm gonna skip this. Let me not even bother with this. But anyway, this is what happened, right? So, no, I can't able to show you the other video in which the person will come from behind. This time the person comes behind me and say sorry. Okay? And so, you know, this is, again, this is what they do to try to prevent me. And if I do find the video again, I will definitely play it so you guys can see. All right. Okay. Okay, that's that video. That's this one. And that's that. All right. So let me just continue here. Let's see. Okay. That is this video. Let's bring that down. That's that one. That's that one. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, that just happens, right?
I'm gonna show you guys what they're doing. Okay.
Okay. It should be right after this video, because when I got in and I saw there was a woman standing right next to a car, and she sees me, goes in the building. Okay. Then she follows me in. Okay. So I'm trying to find the video right after this one, and I can't find it. I know it's there. Okay.
All right. So
I know it's there because, again, I
same thing.
looked at it. I certainly looked at it, but for whatever reason, it's not there anymore. Alright, which is like the weirdest thing. Okay, but again, trying to show a sequence of pattern of what's being done, you know, of course they're gonna do whatever to prevent that, right? Because once you're able to show patterns, okay, then you know something is being done. Okay, but once they prevent you from trying to show a pattern, a repeated pattern, then they can say, well, you know, that's like a one-off thing, right? And again, to try to show it in this sequence is what I try to do, and of course the video just disappeared. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so this video is taking a little longer. It's almost an hour now, and so let me just continue, I guess. All right, so not also that, but they've been messing with my packages again, and not just my package also, but Pam's package, which is kind of strange, right? And so I got to thinking, and I said to myself, okay, as much as I talk about her also being a participant in my targeting, you know, what if they're trying to make me believe that she's also being targeted in order to try to keep me here? Because again, you know, they know, listen, they know who you are. They study you. They probably know you better than yourself, right? Well, almost. And so the fact that, you know, certain things was happening with her packages, well, not all the time, not as much as mine, because they were supposed to deliver something to me on Friday, which was the 14th. They said it was delivered. They never delivered it. I called FedEx on Monday and filed a complaint, right? The next day, my package showed up, right? The next day, okay? Same thing with her package. That's supposed to be delivered on Friday. It never showed up until, you know, and this is something that UPS left on the door, right? And so I had to walk over to a drop-off point, which they claim that they left it at. So I walked over to, which is about 4 blocks away. Okay. Now they could have left whatever package at the corner by the pharmacy. They didn't do that, which normally that's what they would do. The pharmacy is only like 2 minutes away, right? But they left it at a drop-off box that's like 4 blocks away, so I had to go. So I go there, scan the info notice, right? And then I get this saying that there's no package associated with this tracking delivery notification. Okay, the notification number and it says the delivery notification number are not currently available for collection at this access point. Okay, so again, that's just to show you guys what it is that they do. And I literally had to put, when I spoke to, this is not UPS though, but FedEx, when I called FedEx, and I said to them, there are people working in your company that engage in this sort of behavior, and they need to stop it. I said, because they're going to do this to the wrong person, right? And your employees are going to get hurt, not also that, but your company is going to be held financially liable too. So you need to have the managers of these facilities, these distribution facilities, speak to their subordinates, the drivers, and let them know that they cannot do this. You cannot say you deliver a package when you didn't, and then deliver the package after the customer filed a complaint. Then on top of that, they deliberately, this is again FedEx now, okay, deliberately, right, delivered packages from this building, and this was done on purpose, and I'm gonna tell you guys why it was done on purpose, to try to mask their targeting of me. Okay, they try to mask their targeting of me by now delivering a few people. There were 2 people actually, and they delivered a package to another address along with the package that I mean, even though the package didn't belong to me, belongs to Pam, but it was done for a reason, right? And again, me doing this video again will try to, because she does participate in the targeting against me. So I figured after watching this video again, I said, okay, maybe they're trying to give her an, like try to put her in the same category as me as being a TI, but she's not. She's not a TI. I know what TIs go through, and she isn't going through what we TIs go through. Okay, excuse me. So, this lady came and rang the bell. She said that that they had delivered packages from this building into her building. Okay, and that the apartment number, Pam's apartment number, is part of it was on the one of the packages, right? And I guess this was the package she was waiting for. Okay, and so I'm constantly wondering, well, what happened to the UPS delivery that they left the info notice for? Okay, and I think I don't know what happened with that, but anyway, she hasn't even said anything about that either. All right, only the FedEx package she was waiting on, which is what the lady came with the super to ring the bell to tell me about. So I had to get dressed, and then as I got downstairs, the lady had already left with 2 other people that live in the building that packages were delivered there. One of those individuals was a trans person, and lately, people have been posting stuff on Facebook about trans women not being women and such, and I tend to agree with that. I mean, you're a trans woman, you're not a biological woman. Okay, you're a biologically male. You may change your physical appearance to look like a woman, but you're biologically male. And again, there's nothing wrong with you being a trans woman. Okay, Just don't tell me that you're a woman. Say you're a trans woman. Okay, I can understand that, but I can't mess with you. And that doesn't mean that I'm against trans people. It just means that you know I like biologically born women. Okay, so this trans person was there, and this was like after I made the statement. So what they do is that if you make a comment about someone or a group of somebody, even though it wasn't negative, they'll try to use and incorporate those groups of people into your targeting. So this was again classical, psychological harassment, and I knew this. Okay, so you'll see.
Okay.
So, and again, this could be trying to get.
Apparently, this lady came with the super to come. She rang the bell saying that the post office delivery services have been delivering packages.
Well, I said shouldn't have been, but they did deliver the package. Okay, at a different address, which I had to go to. But I knew it was more than that.
Another building.
And because again, I haven't been outside for a few days, so they got to bring me outside to, send me the subliminal message. Right? This is how they work. Sometimes they'll ring the bell. I go downstairs. There'll be nobody there. Okay, except for maybe somebody who's living in the building who's downstairs waiting for me to come down so they can target me.
Okay.
So let me just skip past this, and you guys will see. And again, I want you guys to check this out.
And they delivered to 45 Linden. Okay. So let's see. FedEx truck passing.
Okay. So you see, as I walked down the block heading towards the building, the FedEx truck drove by slowly, not on this block, but at the intersection over there.
So again, I don't see this lady.
All right. So they had left.
See,
she told me to meet her downstairs, like right? She didn't wait for me. She just took off, right?
This is the elaborate scheme.
I think I might have went forward too fast. Okay, here we go.
Box. Scan the slip.
So again, you'll see people at the corner.
And
these are all perps. Okay, see, he's looking down at his hand. Now, why is he looking down at his hand?
So I went to the drop-off service, UPS drop-off box, scanned the slip.
So you see,
and
puts his hands down, and he stick his thumb out. Okay, and now you see he's looking down at his hand.
It says that there's no number.
And
all right, there's no numbers there. Okay. Now this might just be all a ploy to get me outside so they can target me, because I haven't been outside in a few days.
Yep.
All right, since
exactly what it
was Monday. When all right.
Okay.
So the super told me the other day that they just went around the corner. I'm over here. I don't see this lady.
Now watch us get close to this white car.
Right? So
looking out the window. Now you see where he's listening to Ghetto Boys, My Mind playing tricks on me. Okay? So again, this is how they incorporate music into the targeting, right? And so as he said, every couple of seconds got me looking out the window, then he drives off.
They go white car. The white car, of course, he starts pulling off when the song says window on it, because again, this is what they do, right? They look at.
Right, because they keep looking at the window as if, the wind tests these sort of, subliminal messages that they love
windows
to do.
when I'm walking.
Okay. All right, so let me, so here I am, as I am.
Okay.
Crossing the street.
So let's see. Okay, here she goes.
I'm gonna go in there.
lady. It's open? Okay, thanks. Thank you. So look at how far.
That's a lady walking. The same lady
I gotta
can't
walk.
remember, but she's walking up there.
Because, it's here.
And here I am. Okay. So there's no package there.
The different streets, so how could they get that wrong?
Okay, now,
They gotta find. I'm gonna
all of
beep
a sudden
that shit
now,
out.
see the camera becomes very blurry.
You know that shit out? I'm gonna beep that shit out. Okay?
Okay,
I'm
right.
gonna beep that shit out. There's no
So,
package there. They
The
are part
reason
of the
why
plan
I figured that
of the scheme.
because the super was talking to someone they didn't want me to recognize. So as I approach, he comes walking towards
There's no
me.
package there for me. Off a pen. There's no package there for me off a pen. There's no package there. I went
Okay.
there. There's no package there. So how is she going? Exactly. Right?
All right. So check this out. Right. So there actually was a package there. All right. Now I'm sure when the lady went downstairs, she told them that, you know, she rang another bell, and that I was coming because I told her, I said, I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to come. So what happened is that one of the other people live in the building, the trans woman, or trans man, she ended up picking up the package. Now, she saw me coming in the building as she was leaving with those packages. That was at that other address. Now, she knows me, and she knows that, you know, whenever she sees me, she sees Pam. We've been together. I mean, they don't know the dynamics of our relationship now, but she know that me and Pam are together. Yet she says nothing as I was entering the building. Okay?
I've been wasting all my damn time walking over there. Walking over there.
Okay. All right.
They
So
got this.
I got in there.
There's no
So here's the
Fucking-
trans individual. She's a man, a trans man.
over there. Nope. She can't ring the bell. There's no package over there for me, so I don't know why she come ringing the bell. Ringing the doorbell. I don't know. Did you pick up everything that was there?
I brought over Pamela.
Because again, she knows Pamela because Pamela talks to her. All right, they have conversations, so she knows Pamela. So why is she acting as if, she don't know Pamela now and she doesn't know me, right? When I said hi to her at times too, when him, I should say, a trans person, when I've said hi to him, when we're in the elevator, when I'm taking the kids to school, or in the afternoon when they're coming in, when him and his son is coming in, again, the trans man, and we've talked, right?
Yes.
See?
Oh,
So she could have said to me, "Hey, I got your package," but she didn't.
yeah, thank you. She's been waiting for
The
this.
trans man could have said to me, "Okay, I'm still,
I
even with
appreciate
all this,
that.
like I said, there's nothing wrong with you being a trans person, but
Thank
and then she was about to get in the elevator, and she got off there. She actually was in the elevator, and then she got out the elevator because she knew I was going to he knew I was going to confront him as to why didn't you say anything to me? You saw me coming in the building, right? You saw me going in that building. You didn't say anything. So hence the reason why he got out the elevator and took the stairs.
Yeah, she was waiting.
Very calculated, what they do. Okay? So anyway, let me just give I got to run through this because, I took up way too much time in this video. It's now over an hour. And so, like I said, these things happen, these things exist, and this is how they do it. And I'm explaining to you guys exactly how they do it. All right? So, excuse me. There's a book called, this book was written in 1978. It's called Operation Mind Control. Okay? And talks about the American government, indulging in or diving into the research experimental areas of mind control. Okay, and okay. Right. So, these two quotes here, one by Thomas Jefferson. I know of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of society but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform the discretion by education. In the technotronic society that tends, the trend would seem to be towards the aggression of the individual support of millions of uncoordinated citizens, easily within the reach of magnetic and attractive personalities, effectively exploiting the latest communication techniques to manipulate emotions and control reason. This is by Zbigniew Brzezinski, right? National Security Advisor to Jimmy Carter. Okay? It says this book is an exercise in citizens' intelligence. The author and a majority of those who contribute to it are private citizens working on their own in a synergetic effort without major funding or corporations. So people have done a lot of this work, right? And so to get people to understand what is really going on. All right. Where is it here? There's something that I wanted to read. Here it is. Okay. So it says, it may have been the biggest story since the atomic bomb. The headline, however, was small and ignored the larger issue. Drug tests by CIA held more extensive than reported in 1975. Right? The New York Times said, the New York Times in July 16, 1977, what it should have said is U.S. developed invisible weapons to enslave mankind. Okay? You guys can read this. They talk about, okay, I'm going to read it. The testing of drugs by the CIA was part of a United States government top secret mind control project, a project which would span 35 years and had involved tens of thousands of individuals. It included techniques of hypnosis, narco-hypnosis, electronic brain stimulation, behavioral effect of ultrasonic, microwave, and low-frequency sound, aversive and other behavior modification therapies. In fact, there was virtually no aspect of human behavior control that was not explored in their search for the means to control the memory and will of both individual and whole masses of people. The CIA succeeded in developing a whole range of psycho weapons to expand its already anonymous psychological warfare arsenal. With these capabilities, it was now possible to wage a new kind of war, a war which would take place invisibly upon the battlefield of the human mind. Okay, so you guys need to get this book. You guys just Google the name Operation Mind Control PDF, and you can download the PDF here. Okay, Central Intelligence Agency, freedom of the FOSA category search. Okay, talks about the invisible Third World War. Okay, let's open that up. Okay, all right, that's another one here. Invisible Third World War. We talk about chemical and biological warfare and secret plagues. Biological Holocaust. Okay, Rocky Mountain Plague. Okay, this is the one. I think I have the full part document. This is just one part of it. Let me see if I can find that. PDF. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is the four-part page document, or the four-page document. We talk about mind control, the CIA, and Nazi concentration. Psychiatry. Institutionalized psychiatry has become an instrument of civilian control of the modern state. Right. Electronic mind control signal, the Moscow signal. Right? Again, you guys can, what I just did, Google it. The woodpecker signal, and the stuff. So you guys can see this stuff is, again, I I'm not making this up. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Here's another CIA declassified document, and what I wanted to read here is on page 3 or page 4. Page 4. Okay, in this abstract that says, it would be tempting to turn psychological weapons against one's own people and make millions of them forget about discontent with the system of social inequality, about the struggle for peace, and about their civil rights. Oppressed but joyful, fleeced by monopoly but content with everything. Wouldn't this be the ideal citizen from the point of view of the ruling circle in countries of the West? And this is again based on Russian studies, Russian experimentation. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that's the same one. Okay, here we go. Now, important, when they tell you that microwave radiation is not harmful and such, again, this is congressional record, right? Congressional record, right? This is congressional record, excuse me, released 2012. I'm going to read this part right here. Microwave radiation, to borrow a phrase, is not healthy for children and other living things, including State Department employees in Moscow. But yet they want you to believe that microwave radiation is safe. Okay? All right. Let me read here. So Mr. Koch asks and was given permission to address the House for 1 minute to revise and extend his remark and include extraneous matter. Mr. Koch, Mr. Speaker, an article appeared July 27, New York Times, confirming the existence of tests conducted for 18 months during 1967 to 68 to detect genetic damage on State Department employees who worked in Moscow during the 1960s. Now, when they tell you what happened in Cuba and China, that the weapons, these things don't exist, you need to come and read this document. Okay? The reason for the test kept secret from the employees. Remember now, they knew that the employees were being exposed to these things. Okay? And they kept it a secret. Right? Was to determine the effect of microwave radiation beamed at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. Dr. Cecil B. Jackson, who oversaw the analysis of the State Department test samples by a laboratory at George Washington University, said of the results, things are never really conclusive. That bothers me. It bothers me that this radiation, which has been ongoing in excess of 15 years, continue in the absence of conclusive evidence. And that conclusive evidence, he means psychological damage done to the State Department employees. Not also that, but a number of them develop cancer, as well as neurological damages to their brain. Okay? And again, this is all documented. You guys can find more of this stuff. You guys can do the research yourself. I'm going to do some of it, but you guys got to do the rest. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So statistics shows that radiation is harmful to one's health. Yet, the State Department does not care enough about its staff, about the health of its employees, to call for an immediate halt of such radiation. I am calling for that halt. Adding to the outrage is the fact that the State Department allowed the radiation to continue while testing is being done. Certainly, the fact of testing reveals a real doubt as to the effect of radiation. As a member of the Foreign Operation Appropriation Subcommittee, I have seen a lack of concern by the State Department for human rights around the world. And I'm going to end it at that. This stuff is nothing new. And again, when I talk about this stuff, y'all may want to say, oh, he's crazy, he's delusional, and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? You can't dispute these documents. Okay? These documents are explaining, it all. What's happening, what's going on. So again, I think there was one more document that I wanted to pull up, but I'm not able to. But anyway, as part, of my targeting with these stuff, understanding that something was going on that made me want to do all this research, because I knew for a fact that people around me were being controlled, including myself, and I've been brainwashed and manipulated by technologies that I couldn't explain, right? It was like unseen. I knew something about it because I've got in contact with other people who were experiencing the same thing, And so researching this stuff gave me some clarity in what was done to me and what is done to all of us as people, okay, and how they're using these things to cause division and to try to eliminate people within the society who they may feel or think is a threat, okay. And so we always gotta remember that, okay. So I think with that being said, there was one more thing about my targeting that I'm trying to remember before I go. Yeah, the fact that also they were again trying to use Pam to try to send me subliminal messages, give me reward as in terms of, you know, sex and stuff like that, and if I don't talk about it, you know, then they'll get her to have to sleep with me and stuff like that. And guess what? Does it matter to me? Because guess what? I'm still doing these videos. I'm still speaking about it. So it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, it does not matter. Okay? Because this is more important than me having sex or me of them, you know, giving me money, right? This is more important than that. And so at some point as a TI, you're gonna have to decide whether you're gonna stand by your principles and love humanity enough to want to expose what's being done, or buy into the lie of, you know, this reward that you're gonna get, but the reward never comes. It's like black people waiting on white Jesus, right? There's that promise of reward in heaven, but Jesus never comes. Okay? So with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I know it's long, I apologize, but you know, I was looking for other videos that somehow disappeared off the computer, so you know, nothing I can do about that right at this point. All right, so thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.